Sacramento?
Yep, you are, in fact.
Sacramento, California. Talking to another lighting distributor. But before we do, we got to tell you about the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors, Greg.
That's right, NAILD.org.
Our sponsor, the people that are putting this road show together, we thank them, and all the listeners out there. Go to NAILD.org. Shane Crimmins.
Yes, in the flesh.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Appreciate
Michael Colligan. It's Greg Ehrich.
Very good.
Thank you, Shane.
Pleasure.
Very much.
Whew, how long you been in the LED lighting business?
Since it started back in 2007.
Since it started. He's declaring the start date. He's declaring a start date.
We were early advocates, you bet. We were actually one of the first ones to come out with a LED only store. Most everybody else is traditional, wire, nuts, bolts, tools, and all that kind of stuff. And
then HPS and metal halide. And you guys are LED only.
We were strictly LED and LED only. We were called a niche.
2007.
What got you into it?
Come on.
Was there one thing you saw? Were you in lighting before that?
No. Signs, actually.
Signs would be a good spot to start.
Channel letter, illuminated signs. And a colleague of mine came to me and said, hey, there's these new things on the market called LEDs. I thought, that sounds interesting. And so we started lighting signs with LEDs. One thing led to another, and I like signs or LEDs better than signs. And so I kind of started to parlay that into what I wanted to do. So a long story short, we found that LED was much more efficient and much more long-lasting. Eventually. Eventually, folks. In 2009, the SMD technology came out. They switched things up. That's when I really jumped into it.
You know what we call that eventually?
What's that?
We call it the promises.
The promises. There you go. Yeah.
Have you ever listened to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast?
Yeah, I have a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a couple different things. People we like to interview most.
Yeah.
Are guys that have warehouses full of lights.
Oh yeah.
You've been in it from 2007. What have you learned about business and lighting, specifically with LEDs since then?
Don't go deep in your stock.
Don't go deep on your stock. Okay.
Yeah. No, if you have deep stocking levels, you're going to be dealing with a lot of obsolete lights that you're stuck with.
Sure.
And so all of us have dealt with it, and it's tough because I always would like to see the manufacturers kind of get together and say, okay, we're going to standardize what's going on here, and so that you guys can stockpile stuff so you don't run out of inventory, because that's one of the biggest problems here is you call up your supply house and say, hey, listen, I need 50 of these or 300 of those or whatever, 6 to 8 weeks, they're out of stock. I'm like, wait a minute, you're a manufacturer. How are you out of stock?
Sure. Don't you make those?
They don't stock deep either.
Yeah. It's like a hot potato, man.
So you have to kind of follow who's doing what. But that's been one of the biggest hurdles in this business is inventory. You can't hold large quantities of inventory because it'll come out with the next generation, or it'll look a little different, or everybody's racing to the bottom with pricing for the most part. And so that's one of the other challenges is you might quote something today and then next week the price might change. Maybe it goes up, maybe it goes down. Who knows?
What was your when you opened your store? What were the items you had?
Troffers were a big part of it.
You talking about like flat panels in 2007?
2x4, yeah, 2x4 flat panels.
How much did you sell one of those for in 2007? $1 million?
Back then, yeah, no, it was probably a couple $100.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, and par 38 was like $85.
Yeah.
Now they're like $9.
Yeah. It cost you too.
No,
because you're stockpiling them.
Right. No, I've got T8s out there seriously that I've paid $18, $20 a piece for.
The tubes.
Yeah. Because
I pulled out.
Those were on special.
Yeah. Do you remember that company?
Deal.
Do you remember that company that was in Nailed? They had that famous guy that was their sponsor, and they had the dotted LED bulb. The bulb, they called it. Remember? And they had that girl that was in the marketing department. Remember, it's like
Toshiba? No,
not Toshiba. Before it was. Okay. They were out of Denver. It was called Diode LED.
Oh yeah, Diode. Yeah. We're one of their distributors.
Diode's still around.
They're still around.
No, not Diode LED. Yeah, no, Diogen.
Diogen?
Oh, Diogen.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Remember Diogen LED? Sorry, Diode LED. Elemental LED and Diode. That's a thing. They're Nailed members. I'm sorry, even I mix it up. Leducation, Ledvance, right, Scott? But yeah, they gave me this. I think it's 2011.
Yeah.
and they gave me this tube, and it was like a T10.
Yeah.
And it was like all aluminum on the back. It was heavy as
As
heck.
heavy as I'll get at too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably worth $4 in scrap metal.
Cost of shipping alone is more than what the actual product is.
Yeah, and I still have it in my warehouse. And,
Wow.
and the Kelvin temperature is 3,000 to 4,000. That's what it says on it. It says
somewhere in between.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
museum. It's like this. That's what it says on
That's funny.
3,000 to 4,000.
We're rough guessing at 3,000 to 4,000.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, somewhere in there. It goes. It depends on the tube you
The
have.
naked eye can't tell the difference. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna know?
Somewhere in there. It's
I still have
warm white to
lights
cool
left
white.
over from back in 2010.
We got to have a look at it, man.
Yeah.
When you get,
One of my original displays of them. In fact, I was one of the first ones to come out with a showroom for LED lighting only showrooms.
How when was that?
2010.
Yeah, that would have been. You would have been the first
Yeah,
one I
yeah.
would have heard of. Yeah, man.
What's funny is when I started in this business, like I said, they called me a niche because I didn't sell all the other stuff that the other big boys were selling. And so when I was trying to get different companies like Cree to sign up with us to allow us to distribute their product, they held back. And they said, well, you're more of a niche. We don't really deal with niches. So kind of a funny story. So I went to the local big boy store who sells, lighting. And I said, hey, I hear about these LED lights you have out there. Can you, kind of show me what you've got going on? And they said, oh, yeah, there's some lights in the back room back there. I think there's a room somewhere. You'll stumble around, you'll find them. So I'm thinking, wow, they're really promoting these. So I go to the back of the store, and sure enough, they're in this little tiny room, and they're sitting on a table, kind of laid out. And I talked to the woman there, and she says, well, are you sure you want to go to LED? And I said, well, why? What's wrong with LED? And she says, well, they're not really developed yet. They're still working on this. I said, wow, you're really an advocate of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they won't let me sell it because why? I don't know. So they just really had nothing to say about them, but stay with halogen, stay with metal, incandescent metal halide, which shocked me. And I thought, wow, Cree won't sell to me as an advocate who's really trying to promote these things and getting them out on the market.
Yeah.
They're happy to give them to somebody who'll stick them in a back room somewhere and hide them. So it's just honest. That's part of this industry that's frustrating.
It's changed a little, though, I would assume. People.
No,
Still tough.
It's still tough. Big boys protect big boys.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how it's you just live and learn. Some of the biggest companies out there, I'll have a spec order for a national account, and they say, nope, hands off. That goes to so-and-so.
Oh,
I have this great order here for you. Money comes in, who cares where?
Yeah.
But no,
No, they do care.
they do care. So,
Shane, so I'm a salesman.
Ah,
He's a salesman.
That's what we do.
Okay. You said sales. Are you a salesman in
No,
heart?
I'm not
Come
a
on.
salesman.
What are you?
I've done sales all my life, but I'm not a salesman.
What are you?
I'm more of an advocate. I basically tell people, I share opportunities with them. So here's an opportunity. This is what it can do. You like it, you'll take it. If you don't, okay. I found that salespeople tend to be high pressure. They tend to,
Okay, so the definitions are wrong.
yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a different question.
Yes.
How was that? Do you really enjoy the process of delivering lamps to the end user?
Oh, yes.
So yeah, you're a salesman.
You're a salesman. It's all terminology.
It's one of the big payoffs of doing what we do here is that when
Sure.
we close that big deal,
Yeah.
that feeling of exhilaration of, wow, I closed this big deal and it feels good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You're
That's what
helping
I'm
to find
sensing
out,
from you
yeah.
when I'm talking to him. I hear a guy, he's got bulbs in stock, but he's not. Some distributors are like inventory management gurus,
Oh,
right?
Right.
And you're like, don't take too much stock and you'll be good.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of
Right.
my thing too,
Yeah.
right? I'm with you on that. And then it's kind of like, other distributors are like online sales guys.
Yeah.
They're really techie with the online world.
Right.
Right now, I don't know if you have a website or not, but other people just love to get after the projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what Greg is, and that's what I am.
Well, I do walkthroughs. That's one of the things that my clients like most about us is the fact that I'll go do a walkthrough and give them information on applications, installations. If you're going into a kitchen, do you want to use a 5,000 Kelvin? No, because your steaks will never come out right.
Yeah.
If you have an old folks home, you're not going to put in a 3,000 Kelvin light. They're not going to be able to see. They're going to bump into things.
Sure.
So I kind of, give them some information on that to help them with their projects. Like today I was out walking a big warehouse. It's a big tool company. And they're doing all these big machine tools and stuff. And he's trying to figure out, we've got high bays to go in. What do we use? And so I said, well, 20 feet on center. You're going to do this, that, and the other thing. And he goes, oh, wow, that helps.
Sure.
So that's like I say, that's kind of, instead of doing sales, I guess in my heart of hearts, I'm a salesperson. But in the end of the day, I'm here to help people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Are you still doing what you started with before LED signs?
Signs? No.
You're out of it.
Sold it.
Seems like a natural fit, though, isn't
Yeah,
it? LED
It
lighting
was.
and signs?
But they say get out when you're on top. I built the business. It did well. And I had a colleague that wanted to buy me out. So I
Got bought out.
I got out. I was doing, Little Caesars, Sizzlers, Mountain Mike's, Burger King's, some national accounts.
You retrofit signs right now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I don't do any of the physical stuff. I just do the sales portion of it, so to speak. I sell the light. Somebody else does the installations. No, liability. I'm not an advocate of liability at all.
That's true.
And fall off a couple of ladders a few times, and you pretty quick learn what liability is all about.
Yeah.
Have you fallen off a ladder?
A couple times, yeah. I have that wonderful little blue placard on my license plate
What does that say?
that I'm handicapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I trashed one of my ankles really bad. So
cigarettes and ladders.
there you go.
You should avoid them if you can.
Avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, especially it's cigarettes and ladders.
Yeah. But it was a good business to be in. I enjoyed it.
A lot of people wreck their lives with ladders.
No,
I'm not kidding you.
I did signs for 26 years and really enjoyed it.
So hey Scott,
I just texted him. We're good.
We're good. Yeah.
The recording doesn't look like it's showing there, Scott.
Scott, we don't see it's recording.
000.
Stream's good.
Okay, I got
He's
it.
talking.
Go ahead. What's that? Scotty, you
Stream's good. Stream is good.
Okay, good.
Back
So,
at it.
all right, good.
It's always good to have a good stream.
Yeah. Are you guys selling? So you're selling to end users. Is it mostly commercial, residential?
Industrial, commercial. We are wholesale, so we're working with contractors.
Sure.
Not real big on the general public.
Yep.
I prefer to work with contractors.
The walk-in stuff is walk-in public stuff is tough.
We get it now and again, and we do service them, and we do take care of it. But it's much more pleasurable working with, corporations and business owners, like-minded thinking people.
Yeah, sure. Looking for a payback.
Yeah, and the general public, they think everybody's Walmart. I'm going to buy it, try it. If I don't like it, I'll
bring it back.
Bring it back,
Yeah.
It's like it's not how it works.
Yeah.
No, we tell them.
Yeah.
Tell
Well, you
them.
have to. All sales are final.
Yeah.
If we want, we'll give you a store credit if you bring it back. But it's what everybody does.
No, I mean the warranty is the warranty.
Right.
Like that's okay, but you can't not like it.
Right.
Like don't buy here. Go buy somewhere else if you want to try stuff and not like it.
Right.
Well, it just doesn't suit my lighting tastes. What do you want?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, buddy?
Right.
So are you doing turnkey lighting projects with your contractors, or are you separating that out?
We try to handle pretty much everything that comes our way.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff they'll give us lighting schedules, and we'll go through it and just fill the order as it is as an order taker. Sometimes we have to do value engineering where they'll send us something where it's a brand that we won't be able to open up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to value engineer it, find another brand that'll sell to us that will match that product. The big boys are big boys, and there's no way to crack that seal, if you will. And so when they send me something over, it's full of all the big brand names that are listed. I immediately go over to my brands that I work with. 'Cause I work with a lot of OEM companies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, we're not okay. So my theory on LED lights is there's made in China by China and there's made in China by American.
Yeah.
That's kind of my breakdown. And we do American, made in China by American, oversight by American companies, quality control, things of that nature are all there. So we value engineer a lot of stuff.
Do you think America's better than China? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm an American. I'm not stepping in that puddle.
Don't you do that?
How dare you, Shane?
No, I just find that a lot of people walk in and say, "Oh, I found this on the internet." And I said, "Well, that's great."
That's like that should be illegal.
Yeah.
To say that.
Well, I just tell them.
I found this on the internet.
Yeah. I just tell them if you want to buy lights from a guy sitting in his underwear on his laptop watching Oprah, hey, knock yourself out.
There's a market for that.
Yeah.
I mean, go to Amazon.
It's the low end
whatever.
market.
Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with the low end either. You can make money on the low end.
You can,
on the down low.
Right.
You can make money.
But when you're working with contractors,
No,
your
it's
name is
trouble.
everything.
Yeah, for sure.
You get a reputation of selling low end stuff.
Yeah.
You're done.
Sure.
You're done. And they come
Unless you tell them that that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, maybe not. No, maybe not.
I mean, I hear where you're coming from, and I appreciate that. I don't think I did.
I'll give you an example. There's two things. Okay, so 4-inch, 3000 Kelvin LED round flat panel light. Okay,
4-inch round. Okay.
2x4, 55 watt or whatever you want, flat panel.
Right.
Okay, you can't value sell those two things. The lowest price wins.
9 times out of 10, yeah.
You tell me you're going to sit around and talk to some guy about value pricing.
I'm going to tell you that 2x4 flat panel that you bought for $19.95 off the internet is going to go good for you for about 6 months to a year. Then you're going to start looking at your warranty.
Yeah, but nobody cares, bro, about that when they're buying that. When they're in that price mode,
What's
they don't
that saying?
care.
The
The pain and
sweetness.
sweetness of low price,
Yes.
yeah, whatever, turns into the blah 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 bitterness. Bleh.
Well, I have two signs. I have that sign in my will call area, and I also
Yeah.
have one next to it that says your price seems to be kind of high. Can you get a lower one? There's a picture of the Mona Lisa as the picture, and then there's a picture of the Mona Lisa done in crayon. So which one do you want?
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of how it is.
You know what pricing is positioning.
It's tough. It's real tough in this industry because there is a lot of
You
stuff.
can't
on
be
the
out to
internet.
lunch on pricing. You're not going to sell anything.
No, right. But the guys who come to me, the contractors who are legit, are not necessarily price shopping more so than they are making sure that they get a good quality product that they don't have to go back and fix.
Yeah, agreed.
Because go backs cost them nothing but money.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they look at me and say, "Hey, I had 10 go backs this month. Time to move on to another supplier."
So is it a majority of your business in the Sacramento area then, or are you kind of?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, we ship all over the place sometimes.
Sure.
95% of our business here in Sacramento.
So when you started, the rebates were hot and ready, and then
Yeah, well, you've got SMUD and PG&E in this territory. SMUD is Sacramento Municipal Utility District.
okay, we've heard SMUD a few times,
Yeah.
and I thought it had something to do with utility.
Yeah,
And now I got
then of course PG&E, and they're turning in everybody's lights out right now, so they're not too happy about that. But
Well, isn't that because of the fires or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
They
they had a lot of-
they didn't invest in the infrastructure of their lines, and they're sparking sparks everywhere and starting fires.
they're tired of being sued. Plain and simple. They've eliminated their rebates for the most part entirely. I mean, there's very, very little bit rebate left over. And what they're doing, they put out an email today. What they're
Is it a
mostly-
rebate apocalypse? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, what they're doing is going to on-bill financing.
on bill. Okay, so
on-bill
on their
financing.
utility bill itself.
So that's their big thing. And if you'll do that, they'll give you 0% interest. And, it's just kind of how they're going about doing it. SMUD, on the other hand, I talked to them today. They're going to maintain their levels through next year, which is really exciting for us. And so it allows us to pull in some more. Their deadline is supposed to be the next 2 weeks from now.
How are their rebates?
Pretty healthy, not too
Yeah.
bad. I mean,
Okay.
compared to what PG&E was.
And PG&E is in Sacramento as well, or not?
PG&E is in Sacramento. They're all over the place.
So you've got two utility
Yeah,
companies you're
two
working with
utility companies.
primarily.
Well, then you go into other areas like Roseville, and you have Roseville Electric, and then you've got other areas.
See, I deal with that in Minneapolis too, and
Yeah.
it's hard, especially if you're selling somebody that has multiple locations, one in this territory, one in this.
I've
Say,
heard,
hey, half
yeah,
price here. This one's
right.
going to be double.
I've heard rebates though in other states are pretty healthy.
They are. Yeah,
You pay half price here, and this one's going to be double.
Yeah.
Why is this one going to be double?
because there's no rebate.
Yeah.
If you have a utility company that has a low rebate,
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought I'm charging you more because
No.
utility's a pain in the butt.
Not
No.
every city and every county has rebates available.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
For
I
sure.
feel for those people. But
So, are you going to stand up with me and raise your hand and put out your first name and say, "My name is Shane"? Is it Crimmins?
Yeah.
My name is Shane Crimmins, and I'm a rebate addict.
my name is Shane Crimmins, and I am a rebate addict.
Woo!
thank
You
you, Shane.
bet. No, that's some good bread and butter right there.
Oh yeah,
You
buddy.
know?
I've been at it for almost 20 years.
But you know what's funny? It's hard to give away free lights.
It's getting harder.
It's hard to give away free lights, and it blows my mind that I'll go into a place and say, "Listen, we've lowered our prices to match the rebates, so your net cost on this light is $0. I've got a high bait sells for $190, $190 rebate. How many do you want? Well, I'm not quite sure if we're really ready for that. We got to put them in then, don't we?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you got to have them installed. Yeah, that's going to cost me some money. I don't know that I really want to do that."
So, are you dealing with people that have 20 to 30 high bays? Because
Anyway,
I'm taking out a high bay fluorescent and putting in a purpose-built LED
well,
or a metal halide.
what we're doing is we're pulling out high pressure sodiums, metal halides, and fluorescent.
There isn't any
You
metal
still have some
halides
of those?
there anymore, is there?
Here in Sacramento, there's tons of them.
Fuck,
Really?
I'm moving to Sacramento. Buddy. I haven't seen a 400 watt
Oh.
metal halide in
Yeah. Well, the orange high pressure sodiums.
I haven't seen one of those in a
I saw
factory.
I saw 10 of them
years.
today when I was at the job site that I was walking.
I'm moving to Sacramento.
Yeah.
They're coming in.
You're
But the
gone.
metal halides are the biggest one. There's
Yeah.
more metal halides. But there's still a lot of metal halides here.
How are they not changed over yet, Sacramento?
It's just a matter of the tenant is the one who pays for the program,
Yeah.
Sure.
not
Okay.
the
Yeah,
landlord.
for sure.
And so the tenant says, "Hey, look, I got to put out a check for $2,500 to have these things installed, even though the light is free."
Why
Eh,
don't you tell them we're going to use some on-bill financing? Say, look, I'll just charge you $200 a month, and then you give me that, and
yeah,
we're done.
that's PG&E only.
No, but
It's
no,
not
you
all-
just do it. You say, I'll just send you an invoice for $200 a month.
Oh, yeah.
Then you give them the fixtures for free, and Bob's your uncle.
I don't need those kind of problems.
That's it. Well, there you go.
I like the idea, but collecting money from people is hard enough as it is.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get the nasty going.
I get up front. I get paid up front when I do stuff.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yes.
You don't give terms.
When I go into a place, a business, and I say, "Hey, you've got a warehouse. you've got 100,000 square feet. We're going to put in, 60 units in
Yeah,
here.
sure.
Give me a check. We'll make it happen. SMUD will send you a rebate check in a couple of months or in a month, 30 days. Yeah, no, I get my money up front. I learned that if you don't, it's, oh, well, we had some unexpected expenses. Yeah, I bet you did. Me is one of them. So I'm very cautious about that. But with my contractors,
like
it's different.
So you give your contractors terms?
Yeah,
I'm the other way around.
Yeah, some of our contractors, we do have terms with them, and we're actually trying to.
I've been ripped off by
that.
contractors the most.
Yeah, small to medium contractors, typically, right?
Yeah, contractors are dangerous, man.
Yeah.
I don't like to give them credit.
No, I'm
at
going
all.
after the big boys here in town.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the.
So you're offering them value-added service for the big guys.
Exactly.
I take care of your rebate application. I take care of your specifications.
Big boys aren't doing rebates. They could care less about that.
Yeah.
They're after the big national accounts. They're after the big, the big plays in town.
Sure.
And so they're hard to get because they want to walk in and say, I need $100,000 worth of lights and here's my signature and walk out.
Yeah.
Small companies can't do that. And so I'm working with finance companies right now to put that into place so that when they walk in, we can do that kind of stuff. So we have a financial backing.
Are you guys doing a lot of financing of projects?
Small ones.
Small ones. Okay.
Yeah, small ones. So maybe $10,000, $12,000 right around there. Yeah, no, the financing of the big ones, because, they're going to call you 60 days or 30 days later and say, well, checks in the mail, and you get it another 30 days later. And
checks in the mail.
Right.
Come on, son.
So who needs that?
Put that on a wire transfer now, boy.
Right.
Wire transfer.
Hey, we take credit cards.
Yeah, sure.
We're not afraid of Amex.
Yeah, come on, man. Get that card out.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what it's all about, though. But no, the big contractors, if you want to, play with big numbers, you have to get big contractors. And we've got 3 or 4 of them around here in town that are, multi-million-dollar corporations, and they do big jobs. So, and they're hard to get because, again, they want the Lithonia light, and Lithonia is locked down. They want the Cree light, Cree's locked down. H.E. Williams and all these other great brands that are out there. You can't touch them because
if you join Nailed, you could get an account with H.E. Williams. Probably.
There you go.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, you probably.
You're
could,
gonna break.
actually.
You're gonna break through ALR. You're gonna get past that.
Well, they're Nailed that
roadblock.
vendor member, right? So you could have a meeting with them at the convention if you wanted to. I mean,
they have a dartboard somewhere with my picture on it.
Is that right? They don't like you.
They don't.
I'll tell you this: there's more dartboards with my picture out there than yours.
No, there's for the most part just the one. Because when I go to trade shows, I deliberately will go to some of their vendors and say, "Listen, we want to open terms with you. We've got all these jobs that are coming by, and your name's on it. We keep value engineering it. I would much rather just give them your product."
Yeah, man, come on.
They're like, "Well, why don't you? How come you haven't opened?" I said, "I won't get the introduction. They won't do it." And they said, "Wow, well, we'll have a talk with them." I said, "Yeah, you do that." Good luck with that. Nothing happens. But that's something that's going on in this industry. I think all of us, medium to small size distributors, independent distributors, are dealing with is not being able to get into some of the larger projects because the products,
It's an issue.
are locked down. And so if I can find a way to break through that ceiling a little bit here and there, I do it. So I make it a point. I'm excited about Light Fair coming up in Vegas next year.
I think you should be more excited about the Nailed convention.
Right?
It's before
April 19th to 22nd, man.
Sneaking it in before.
Oh, yeah, buddy. It's the place to be. That's where I heard all the cool people are going to be at that
That's
convention.
it. The who's who of lighting. Huh?
Lighting
right.
distribution,
That's right.
it will be.
Lighting
Of lighting distribution,
Yeah,
it will be, for
That's
sure.
awesome. That is awesome.
For sure. It has been about half an hour here,
There
Greg.
you go. You got to roll it.
I'm going to say, you know what? You have a website?
AllStyleLED.com.
All Style LED. We've been speaking with Shane Crimmins. Do I have the Crimmins last right name? Right?
That's an Irish name, you bet.
I got one of those too. Michael Colligan. Hey, we've been speaking with Shane Crimmins, All Style LED. He's been nothing but welcoming and warm to us here in Sacramento. We were a little bit late.
That's all
Sorry,
good.
sir. But we got that LA, that California traffic. But you, the listener out there, we appreciate you guys. We're very, from our hearts. We want to thank Scotty for staying late in the Toronto. What time is it now, Scotty? Got to be what, 7, 8
7
o'clock?
o'clock.
It's just 7.
I got him muted out. What's up, Scotty?
It's just 7.
Oh, okay. I thought it was later. We thank Scotty for hanging on in there and for everyone that's listened to this. And, of course, our friends at the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors, patrons and sponsors. Their event is then our event, and their event is the 19th to the 22nd in Biloxi, Mississippi. Check it out, naild.org. Shane, thanks for coming on, man.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, and having us
Thank
in
you,
your
Shane.
shop.
Thank you for the opportunity.
No, we appreciate it. Bye for now. Thanks, Scott.